Obviously, we're at the Triumph Centre.
Yeah.
You've seen the bike go, and obviously, I was chatting to you off camera. You've heard good things about the engines and everything else. So, what about next year? What about Moto2?
Well, yeah. So it's going to be an open playing field for everyone, really. Everyone's going to be changed. I spoke to one of the riders which have already tested the bikes, and he says it's completely different the way you've got to ride the bike. You know, with Moto2, the way we have now, you play a lot with the clutch, whereas with the new Triumph, you don't even use the clutch. It's got the auto blipper. So, and also we have no electronics, whereas as of next year, you've got a lot of electronics. You've got anti-wheelie, traction control. You name it, you've got it. So it's going to be completely new.
And we're going to see you in the championship?
I want to say yes, but right now it's looking difficult. You know, the problem is as well, they're taking away 4 of the grid spots.
Really?
Yeah, like with this year there's 34 riders, and next year there's only 30. Going to be, I think Triumph is supplying only 30 engines, which are then. So then obviously there's 4 rides gone there.
Wow.
I had a 2-year contract. When I signed the contract with Speed Up, it was for 2 years. But always, you know, in every contract with every team, there's always a clause for both parties to get out of it. And obviously, my results have not been good enough to keep the seat inside the Speed Up. But I think it's. You look at Fabio. I think it's crazy the story behind him. That, he's had 3 bad years. And then suddenly he has 2 good results, and he signed himself a MotoGP deal. It's crazy.
If your face fits.
Yeah, no, sometimes that's exactly it. But then, you know, what I tried saying to the team was, you know, sort of the first 5 races I was on par with him, maybe sometimes even faster than him. Just that I was crashing in the race, but when it come down to speed, I was faster than him. And then Mugello. We had a test on the Monday. He got given a new carbon swing arm, and then he went faster than what he did all weekend. Then the race after that, we went to Barcelona, and then he got his first pole position, won the race. So which tells me there was something to do with that carbon swing arm that he tested. We went to Assen. Obviously, I asked, is there a chance that I can use this swing arm? They said, you'll get a new one in Assen. Nothing in Assen. Then in Sachsenring again, didn't get nothing new there, but you know, they tried telling me that there's not the swing arm hasn't played any part in the result, the sudden turnaround and change of results with Fabio's. And I sat down with him and I said, look at we get all the results from Qatar, the first 5 races, and you know, his best result was 16 seconds from the lead, from first to where he finished, and then suddenly got this new swing arm and gets pole position and wins the race by 2 seconds. It doesn't just happen overnight that suddenly you find this confidence or suddenly know how to win a race. So it's a little bit frustrating because obviously on the outside it looks like we're all using the same stuff, but for me, that since he's had that new carbon swing arm is when his results have turned around. So I'm hoping soon that we'll get that. And but you know, sometimes I'd say 80% of it for us riders is in the head.
Yeah.
You know, look at Lorenzo. They've not changed much on the fuel tank, but it just looks a bit differently. But in his head, he knows that they've changed it, and he's gone out and won races since they've changed that fuel tank, which is crazy. It is what it is.
When you're out without a job, and it's only a few years ago you're world champion.
Yeah.
Do you ever doubt yourself, or do you ever go through periods of thinking, this?
No, I'd say I doubt myself quite a lot, maybe too much. But yeah, like you said, 3 years ago I was a world champion, and now the last 3 years, 16, 17 and 18, has been a bit of a disaster, or not been what expected. You know, from coming from a champion, you then expect to then go on to have great results, but it's just not been the case for me. Maybe I just can't ride a Moto2 bike, or I don't know what it is. But yeah, I wouldn't say people forget about it, but obviously I can't keep getting rides relying on that I was once a world champion. You know, I could maybe for the last 2 years, but now I can't keep playing on that card. But yeah, sometimes you're almost as good as your last race. And for me, my last 20 races has not been very good. So of course, for me to then sell myself to teams in Moto2 is quite difficult, especially when the results that I've had in Moto2 have not been good. So yeah, it's difficult.
If we're not going to see you in Moto2, what are you going to do? Where are we going to see you?
Well, it's a tricky one. I've sat down and looked at all the options. Do I want to leave the paddock, go to Supersport, Superbike? There's not any rides in Superbike. Supersport, it's risky.
Yeah.
It is risky. So what is there left? Do I go back to Moto3? I think that's probably my best. I want to stay in that paddock for as long as possible. I'd like to try and stay in Moto2, ideally with the new Triumph, with everything new coming in. But it's difficult. There's not many rides going up. So what do I do? Go back to Moto3, try and do what I did in 2015. Like I said, these 3 years, everyone's forgotten that I was a world champion. So maybe if I go back to Moto3, have another good year. Maybe they forget the 3 years I've had, 3 bad years I've had recently. So yeah, it's difficult. I know that I get a lot of slack, social media from fans saying, "Oh, you can't ride a Moto2 bike," but I've held my hands up. Maybe I can't ride a Moto2 bike. But
you're a world champion. That's
yeah, that's it. I still want to race. I want to be inside that paddock, and if it means I have to ride a Moto3 bike, I'll do it.
So, any offers?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's solid offers.
Ongoing talks.
Yeah. Well, I can get an offer.
Yeah.
I have had. There's a few opportunities that I can. A few good opportunities. Obviously, I've got more. I found out last weekend that I won't be continuing with the speed up. So, that didn't really help because obviously riders and teams, they've been speaking for a while now, which obviously they've signed stuff which have not left many opportunities left. But I have some good meetings this weekend in Silverstone, and I'm hoping that I'll get an agreement done by Misano.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers.